What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here, and we are here to talk about the history of Yero, the ultimate time magician, and also the other side of Hiko Makuro, as my videos say, or Hikoji Makuro, but a lot of people call him Hiko for short. So it's pretty much the other side of him. Kind of like that. Kind of made me saying the other side. Kind of made me think of that song. The other side, the other side, the other side of me. The other side, the other side, the other side you see. And then for some reason, well, Jackson sure liked the heck out of it. Then again, he always was a little suck up. Yeah, a little something from Hannah Montana, yeah. So, yeah, other side. But, so before we go into this, definitely make sure you definitely like, share, and subscribe. As well as also super thanks, on any of these videos for a little extra support. In addition to getting some of our books, we've got different kinds like Star Striker, Bubblina, and of course Yumeko, the first novel that is currently out, along with all the other books. Only $7 a book. So yeah, definitely get you a copy. My God, you can afford that. Yeah, that was a little something from, yeah, that was kind of a little something that mimicking Derek Savage when he advertises cool cat stuff, but yeah, bottom line, yeah, definitely, like I say, super thanks along with getting some of our books, and also definitely support us on that Patreon, just like your boy AJ the Supreme. And definitely shout outs to Madea Vidas, Miss Vidas, known as Madea. Keon Smith with the good chicken tenders and buffalo wings, or go the buffalo wings and chicken tenders, whichever order you prefer. And of course, King of turkey legs and wings. Turkey. So Keon got the chicken, King got the turkey. Arthur Williams, aka the King of turkey legs and wings, and also get some of those ribs too. So yeah, say chicken, turkey, and ribs. So yeah, got a couple of cooks, and of course Madea Miss Phyllis. So yeah, it's almost like you put Madea in the middle of a couple of cooks. Of course, Madea was, any of y'all watch Tyler Perry's Madea, y'all know that she can cook some mean meals too, So, yeah, definitely, shout out to that. Make sure you also check out EJ's channel, as well as also my big sis Casey, her channel as well. And also, I forgot to mention this in the last video I made, the one where I was talking, while I was reacting to the review of the first two Star Striker books, and told you guys a little bit about that, about the, how I felt about that, and other things. Definitely check that video out if you hadn't already seen it. But I forgot to mention, and I need to make sure I mention this in any of these videos on this level. Definitely to make sure you guys know to come to the Discord server, Miracle Universe. Yeah, definitely hook up with us there, so that we can all communicate with one another, and like I say, I just I kind of got a few suggestions from my big sis Casey about trying to manage that server, because like I say, this is my first time doing something like this as well, and much like a lot of things, I am learning. So the old saying, we're open to suggestions. So long as they're good suggestions, good suggestions as well as constructive criticism. So yeah, definitely have listening to her advice of trying to making sure not to just have the chat there and nobody's saying anything. So yeah, definitely been making posts, making comments and stuff like that on the chat to as a holler at everybody in there. I try to definitely holler at everybody, people that are in the server as of now, to so they can keep hear from me on a daily basis. What's going especially with when I be uploading videos and then stuff outside the channel, like me and EJ, we mentioned about our favorite shows from our childhood. We listed some of those, like both me and EJ, we into shows like Static Shock and Power Rangers and stuff like that. So, and a few others, yeah. So definitely hop over there. You can see all of that and join in on some of the conversations. Even ask some questions about them and even about the channel and stuff like that. Get connected. Come on over there. Yeah, definitely do that, as well as also look up what's going on, what I'm doing in other areas like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all that. But definitely get on that Discord server, because that's like I said, I post on all of them, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and stuff like that. But yeah, and I will, and yeah, I've had some comments from some of those there off and on. But yeah, really trying to get the Discord thing really up, really out there, more people in there. But yeah, definitely hook up with us on that, as well as also the Macari app. See some of the stuff that I got for sale over there on Macari, and set yourself up an account so you got some stuff you want to try to get rid of and get a little ka-ching off of for yourself. Hey, yeah, definitely do that there, and be sure to even let me know. Once you set up and everything, not only check my stuff out, but yeah, let me know about what you got there, and let me see if I see anything I want to get from you guys. Like, what you got for $5? Because hey, I sometimes, hey, you never know. I might find it might be something that sparks my interest. I might want to get something sort of like this Gutbuster, yeah. Definitely. And after making these videos, I gotta go do me some exercise, and so yeah, you can see what the use of this would be for. Yeah, enough said. Gotta lose a few pounds, so. So yeah, definitely do that. Get hooked up, get connected. And now that all that's said, let's get into the meat of this. Oh, and one other thing, one more thing. Hold up. As Uncle saying Jackie Chan, one more thing, no more thing. You disrespect Uncle. Uncle took you in. Say, put roof over your head, put food in your belly, lots of food, and you disrespect me like this. I cook, I clean, I travel the world to get smothered in fish, and you repay me by demanding many more things. Okay, so yeah, had to mention that there. But one more thing I wanted to mention is, of course, I think it was oh man, done slipped my mind talking about Uncle and Toru. The other thing, it has to, oh yeah, the audio reading. So yeah, you guys know, those of y'all that's also been following the channel up to this point, you probably noticed audio readings. So far in this book, there's 10 chapters in this first book, and so far I have read the first 7. Yep, the first 7 chapters. So I got chapter 8, 9, and 10, 3 chapters left that need to be read, that need to be done. So that will be the last audio reading video for this book, and there will be audio readings of book 2 once it is out there. It's being proofread right now. Like I said, I got 2 proofreaders, my mother as well as Christina. Like I said, got probably be a little while, because they got other, they also have to do other stuff, especially my mom, because she got a little schedule of her own, to kind of work around. So yeah, definitely got to be patient on that. So she did ask me kind of when I was expecting it back, to sort of have an estimate idea, and I usually try to give, a pretty good length of time, for stuff to come up. Sometime it may take a little longer, just all depends. But I try to give a pretty good length of time that I think it could be done in. With the plan is to have it by towards the end of June, so in July I can start getting all the proofs in, as well as also Christina starting with her proofs, which will probably be a little bit later as well before that time. Yeah, that way I get all the proofs in and have book 2 out probably somewhere towards the end of July. That way I can start selling copies of it, as well as more copies of number 1, because I do need to order more copies of novel 1 to sell, since I've sold out the first batch of books, but definitely put in pre-orders for that. So yeah, that book number 2 should be out toward the end of July. So then I'll be selling 2 Yumeko copies along with all the other books for you to get orders, for you to order. And I do plan to get an audio reading of those last 3 chapters in one of my upcoming videos before the second one comes out, obviously. Like I say, I definitely plan to get that. Like I say, I know only reason it's been kind of slow with the uploads on the audio readings, because it does take a while to edit those, get them precise, because I have little bloopers and stuff in my reading. I have to do retakes and stuff. Yeah, I think that's so I think that actually is the video that takes the longest of the audio readings, because of how it works and stuff. Getting it straight through exactly like it's in exactly the way the book is written. So yeah, that's why it takes time, but it will be coming, much like the proofs. So hold your horses for that. You will see it or hear it. So now let's get into the meat of this video, what we've come to this video for: the history of Yero, the ultimate time magician, and the other side of Hikoji Makuro. Let's dive in. So I did look back at my history of Hiko video back here ago to make sure to see what all I mentioned in the Hiko video. As I remember, I think there was a few things I said about Yero, but not a whole lot. It was mostly about Hiko. So now we're about to hear about Yero. It's probably gonna be a few things about Hiko that you might hear again, but yeah, it's gonna be mostly on Yero's side. So let's dive in. So Yero, much like Hiko, started back when the days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Role playing. Yep, when like I say, when I met Casey at summer school and we started role playing Yu-Gi-Oh! She helped me to understand it more. Both us together, even really got into the series, and over time even learned how to play the game of Duel Monsters and stuff. Like it's like both like in the show and in real life, because it's 2 different ways that the game is played. So that's why you see it the way it be in the show. So as with Yero, know how Yugi had that whole thing with Pharaoh Atem, or as they've called it, several other names before they found out Pharaoh Atem's name. In the English dub, he was called Yami at first. Talking about the other Yugi's other self, he was called Yami, or sometimes they just called him Yugi too as well by other people. Then the Japanese version, they would call him other Yugi sometimes, especially Yugi himself be like, other me, partner, I boo. So yeah, they went by that, and other people, a lot more people knew that there was another side to Yu-Gi in the Japanese version. They knew about this other presence inside. More people actually were aware of this, out not just Yugi's friends, but even like Seto Kaiba himself and like say some of the other adversaries that they faced. Sometimes they would even say, "Oh, it's that other side of him." Especially some of the main villains, like I think Pegasus may have probably knew, because I mean he did have some knowledge of the Millennium items based off the eye that he had, as well as also Merrick, obviously, because he had a whole lot of knowledge on Pharaoh Tim, other than the fact that they didn't know his name, Tim, but he knew a lot about the Pharaoh, that particular Pharaoh in general. That was, his spirit was in the Millennium Puzzle and all, as well as even the Big Five in the virtual world. They say, oh, it's so we got Yugi Type B and Yugi Type A, and that's how they kind of in computer-like terms there. So yeah, they knew, and obviously they knew in the manga too. Yeah, it was pretty obvious in the to some people in the manga. It took a while for its friends to find out in there, but yeah, but they were starting to piece together that something was going on. Yeah, so anyway, much like how he had Pharaoh Tim, other Yugi, Yami, how depending on what part of the show you're looking at and what version. My character Hiko, I thought about, well, he would have there's 7 Millennium items, so I made up a Millennium item called the Millennium Watch. Yeah, that would sound kind of odd considering why. Yeah, something like a watch from ancient Egypt. There were cases where I did think of it as a Millennium Sundial, but yeah, imagine you trying to hold a big old sundial around everywhere you go, depending on the size it is. I guess it could be small, and then maybe like in the modern era, it became a watch. Magic doesn't have to be explained. So, as Link Carl would say, it's magic. It doesn't have to be explained. So, and then of course, Critic with his smart self, what? Oh, please, there's no such thing as magic. Really? Then how did she do it? Let's keep moving. So yeah, it magically changed into a watch over time. Now there were some cases as far as the Millennium Watch was concerned, that how Yugi wears the puzzle around his neck, where at first it was just like a wristwatch, because I always did wear a wristwatch, but then it became like, I wore it around my neck because I really liked the whole idea of how Yugi wore the puzzle around his neck. I really did like that, and that's actually, I actually wear a when I go out, like to work and other places, I always put on a pocket watch around my neck, sort of like Yugi's puzzle, to represent my character Hiko and as well as the other part of him, Yero. So that matter of fact, I remember explaining that to EJ the Supreme once. I thought I had mentioned, I thought maybe I had mentioned it or something, but I guess maybe I didn't. Never know. I mentioned a lot of things, so you never know with me. Sometimes I have to be like, wait, did I tell you about that? It happens, we're human. so yeah, he was just asking about that. I think I had just came out and mentioned it because we were talking about the books and stuff like that, and he was like, oh yeah, I was wondering why you always had that watch around your neck. So yeah, that was why there. So yeah, just like how Yugi would do the whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Dun 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 dun, or say, are you ready to play? Playtime is over, Kaiba. Dun dun dun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dun 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 dun. What the? Now, Kaiba, hope you're ready because it's time to duel. Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this match. My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba, but it does contain the unstoppable Exodia. Ah! Impossible! I've assembled all 5 pieces of the puzzle. All 5 for an automatic win. Ah! It's not possible! No one's ever been able to call Exodia. Until now. Exodia obliterates! Ah! You play only for power, Kaiba, and that is why you lost. If you really want to see the answer, open your mind! Ah! So, and it was really interesting how that scene, because I seen the anime Yu-Gi-Oh before actually seeing the manga version. So it was really interesting when I went back to the manga and saw, especially season 0, that's based off the manga, of how the whole open your mind thing really went, or mind crush went in there. So, yeah, back with Hiko and Yero. So much like that transformation that Hiko in our role plays of Yu-Gi-Oh! Would become Yero, and kind of like how there was that whole thing where remember when Shadi went inside Yugi's mind, and there were 2 sides of his mind, Yugi's mind as well as Tim's mind. Well, there was that. I imagined that with Hiko and Yero. You know, there was Hiko's room and Yero's room. And I kind of had a little fun with that in some of the role play imaginations. Had a little fun with that. There was even part times when I imagined Hiko coming. You know how sometimes Yugi did go over to Yami's room and they would have discussions about what was going on and stuff, and you know, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do next? It was sometimes Hiko would in our role play just for fun. Outside, you know, or outside of the role play, when me and Case would sometimes just imagine stuff at random. I would sometimes imagine Hiko coming over to Yero's room to just sort of chill and even enjoy some popcorn and some chicken tenders and stuff like that. Especially the popcorn part, yeah. Can't go wrong with popcorn. and then on top of that, I was also kind of a brief little moment where how my character Hiko, I imagined him with Taya from Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, or Anzu in the Japanese version. There was a girl at my school back at Woodlawn during that time. I think during my sophomore year. Not gonna. Let's see. Trying to think of a different. I don't want to call by her real name on here. I'm gonna. Let's see. We're gonna say. Adrian. Yeah. So, that's I'm just making that up to cover her identity. Sort of like in that interview of Derek Savage when they called him Eric Garbage. So, Mr. Garbage. Okay. Anywho, Adrian. Yero. So in my imagination, I imagine Adrian from school. Yero having a crush on her, much like Hiko had a crush on Anzu, and sometime would come out just to talk to her and stuff like that. Yeah, and some kind of way she was able to go into Yero's soul room, and you know, there was 2 different, you know, Hiko and Yero. So, yeah, there was that. Yeah, there was some very odd times in our role plays and imaginations. Duly note, I don't want this to end up becoming some kind of mean-spirited meme or joke by, especially especially from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Yeah, we don't we don't take too kindly to that Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged thing. Yeah, it was very not the best not the best moments of say look the fact that I did watch that was not the best time of my life. So yeah, like the critics say about the logics of Superman 4 from Christopher Reeve, we don't take too kindly of logics in this review. Now you sit back down and get back to watching Clark act like an idiot. So we don't take too kindly of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged by you know who. Now let's sit back down here and talk about the original of the impact of Hiko and Yero, of course. So back to Hiko and Yero. So yeah, there were moments like that in the role plays. I thought I heard somebody outside. So pretty much, yeah, a lot of things played out like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. A few things were added due to me and Casey's character, depending on especially the versions of our role play, because we had sort of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Multiverse of role play, especially with her different Julies there. So yeah, we had that, and, Duelist Kingdom, Battle City. Battle City was pretty much where you probably would see more of Hiko in action, especially as Yero, especially during duels and stuff. And also, it was once imagined in the manga. There was a manga issue I did in my imagination, not one actually published, but in my manga role playing or season 0 role playing, where Hiko had to stop some guy who was stealing some watches, and Yero came out and challenged him to a game, which resulted in a penalty game, sort of like what Yugi would do as his other self in the manga. Sort of a one-off episode, which ironically there was an episode involving some watches in the season 0 anime. Yep, so I guess you could say that I subconsciously role played into that, just had Hiko and Yero in the place of them. In the role plays, of course. So, pretty much there was that, and yeah, of course, the Waking the Dragon / Doma arc, where I did mention about Hiko all of a sudden going bad there, and dueling Julie, taking her soul. The Orichalcos. He sort of had separated himself from the Millennium Watch during that, and then it was brought back to him. Him and Yero sort of patched things up, and sort of had a redemption, much like a Tim did with what happened between him and Yugi. With the whole with the duel with Raphael, that really tore him up there. So yeah, pretty much all that, and then of course I guess you could say all the items got returned. Not really a whole lot much more as far as Yero was concerned. Also the sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! 1.5 role play, similar to Lion King 1.5, change of the seasons, where as I mentioned in the history of Hiko, after he had found Taikari and stuff, then this scientist guy, not Gozaburo scientist, comes out and it's like, I'm taking Taikari back so I can study her and stuff like that. And then Yero came out, challenged him to a game of some sort. Not completely sure what I came up with that thing, because it wasn't Duel Monsters. So, not sure exactly what he challenged this dude to, but he was able to save Taikari. So that was pretty much it with Yero's involvement in our Yu-Gi-Oh! Role plays. Because, like I say, most of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Roleplay involvement was mostly mentioned with Hiko. So yeah, it's pretty much it on there. So then we fast forward to Heroes of Dreams. Yero made a debut in that. This was the first book series that Yero made a debut in, but not Hiko. Yeah. Now, looking back, thinking back on the Heroes of Dream series, you could say that Calvin, and I may have mentioned that, but in a way, Calvin kind of could have been like a stand-in of Hiko. He definitely had some similarities to Yugi, sort of like kind of like my inspiration for the Hiko character, so like it's a mix between me and Yugi, and kind of also even like how Christina, when she started writing Bubblina, like how she wanted, the character, aka Melissa Doris Robertson, sort of like a cross between herself and Usagi, aka Sailor Moon, but with mermaid stuff. So yeah, there was that. I lost where I was. Okay, gotta get back on track. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Heroes of Dream. So yeah, so we didn't really get a Hiko debut in Heroes of Dream, but Yero made an appearance there, and it was sort of based off of the change of the season thing. Now, there actually, I didn't mention this in the history of Hiko, but I'm saying it now. There was a change of the seasons. While it did kind of serve as a title for this, what happened before Hiko and Julie met Yugi in the gang, and back when they were in elementary with hanging out with this kid I met the first time I came up with Zayden, who was kind of similar to Kazu back then, that version of him, and powered up with like Ryu Bakura before the Millennium Ring, and the Kaiba brothers before they were orphans there, set up with Mokuba. So, yeah, it was sort of given to that, but Change of the Season also was, as far as an official thing, because that was for the role play in there, but Change of the Season officially was meant to serve as a title for, it was an attempt that I guess call myself making a series about my life starting way back from preschool. Sort of similar to what I'm doing for the Yumeko series, but instead the Yumeko series doesn't go all the way back to me at preschool, though. It's actually, that's one thing for the third book, the third novel, The Supreme Star Striker. You will get to find out, it will be a confirmation of how old these kids are for this series. Yeah, so that's why I'm not going to say it here. I'm going to wait till I get to that point when I'm in the rough draft of my third book, so we can have a confirmation there. So you will hear that soon. But yeah, that's what I plan to do. So if I do it, yeah, it will be confirmed, and you will know. So yeah, so with the Change of the Season series, it started. I honestly, I mean, like I say, I kind of had the idea, like I say, starting way back from when I was in preschool. Some of the stuff that happened to me for realsies, mixed with some fantasy, obviously. Of course, part of the fantasy, because I had such an interest in different hairstyles and stuff that I would see in animes and even in characters in live action shows, like Zack and Cody, for instance, when they not the first season but season 2, when they had their hair like down, sort of like what people call a mop style. I actually tried to get my hair like that once I grew it, like back, cause I watched it back in high school. I actually tried to. I was growing like this big fro, and I was call myself going to flat iron it to look like Zack and Cody's hair. Yeah, but the only way that was going to happen is if I actually got one of those perm activators, because see my some people I think have it where their hair could naturally do that, regardless of their race and everything. Some people can naturally do have their hair go like that. Sort of like Corbin Blue, how he has natural curly hair, because he's kind of, I think he's biracial, so he sort of has those genes from from both of his parents that sort of mixed into him. That's what results to his hair like that. But yeah, but not everybody's like that. And it's kind of a rare case there, especially I'm just saying from what I've observed and what I've kind of learned from the African Americans. Yeah, it's kind of a rare thing that our hair would be able to do something like Corbin Blue's hair, or even have flat iron hair. Yeah, it would be a very rare thing to see natural hair like that from an African American. Just saying, a little bit of something I learned. So, of course, when I was trying to do it, I didn't think that, I thought it would be possible. Because even my mom was trying to tell me, that's the only way you'd be able to get that, Gabe, is with a perm and stuff. Like, I don't need a perm to get that. I can just, I'll just go into this place and buy me a flat iron. And I actually did that. And, like I say, at that point in my life, being in high school, my mom was like, just go and find out for yourself, 'cause, yeah, like I say, she did let me experience some things for myself, and sometimes you have to let you have to use your good judgment. Sometimes let people find out stuff for themselves. Even Jesus himself would do that. There, like I say, freedom of choice. Because sometimes that's the best way people can sometimes learn things. When they don't listen, they have to learn for themselves, myself included. So, yeah, I found out that didn't work out the way I thought it would. And obviously, and I even call myself tried to get the Corbin Blue curly style with the not a Jerry curl, but that S curl shampoo activator. It did make my hair curly. I think mostly just because it just kind of got that way when it was wet, but not the same kind of curls like Corbin Blue. It just, it wasn't the same kind. And then, of course, once it got dry and everything, it went back to an afro. So, yeah. But yeah, that didn't work. Yeah. So, it was like, nah. There was one point I did wear a flat iron wig that was similar to Zach and Cody's hair back in my college days, how us teenagers and college students do some crazy things, so that was one of the crazy things I did. Went around with a flat iron wig sometime. So yeah, that was that. So how does this relate to what, Hiko and Yero think? Okay. So with Hiko in the Change of the Season series that I called myself was trying to make, I only thought of like an episode or two for that was pretty, and hadn't really went back to it. I imagine Hiko in that series as a preschooler, which was pretty much me back in preschool, having some really long hair. Yeah, just like I say, I just liked how, the whole thing of hairstyles, of different characters in live action and anime. So it was just a thing, it just kind of, I was like, I want to do that. There was one time I even tried to get my hair like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, I would definitely, the only way I'd be getting that is with a wig. Yeah, I would pretty much need a wig to pull that off, because if I did get my hair actually like Goku, if that was possible, it would take a really long time to do, because I would have to grow like a really huge afro and probably use like some hairspray or something to, maybe like get to make it, stay straight after, maybe somebody cutting the fro into the shape of the spikes that Goku has. So yeah, that's probably would not be getting that. Yeah, if I did, it'd be a wig, so that would take way too long to go for real, and that's only if it would work. So I don't even. It's a low chance that would even work out. So just saying. um, so yeah, imagine Hiko with really long hair, and then of course it spiked up when he became Yero. Of course, in the series, Yero's transformation wasn't due to a Millennium item. It just happened. Yero in that series was actually a guardian angel that would take over Hiko sometime when he was in trouble. Matter of fact, the change of the season series was when I first thought of the three characters, House, Monty, and Guy, which those names were actually based from. I don't think they were their real names, but they were nicknames that some of the kids in my freshman science class had, that would be a lot of time be causing trouble in the class there. So the first time those characters came into existence in my stories was here in Change of the Seasons and in Heroes of Dreams. And in both of those, Change of the Season and Heroes of Dreams, we're about to get to that, they were bullies, kid bullies there. Change of the Season sort of had a really dark turn on these three. There was the fact, I think there was supposed to be a backstory to these bullies that were they actually, I have to say this, they were actually being abused. And one of them would wear a jacket that completely covered their they completely kept themselves covered, and you didn't even see this guy's. I'm not sure. I think it was Monty, but you never would see his face, and he even had like a little mask over his mouth and everything. And one scene where there was one scene of him showing that the reason he was all covered up because he had a lot of scars on him from some of the abuse that these guys got. Yeah, it was pretty dark there. So yeah, it was kind of a dark turn. Yikes. So, but yeah, Yero came out, dealt with these bullies, and the second episode was supposed to be Hiko getting lost on a school bus or something, like the school bus that took a wrong turn, and he ended up him and this new friend of his that he had recently met got lost in downtown or something like that, and Yero ended up having to save them from that, from some dangers they would encounter. That was pretty much it with that. So now, Heroes of Dreams. Before I talk about Yero, since I brought up about those three bullies, House, Monty, and Guy, they were in the very first book of Heroes of Dreams. Monty, I think they were bullies the same age as Samuel, which they were all 8 years old in the book. Monty did have that jacket on, but he wasn't. He didn't have his face covered up. Yeah, and so yeah, I didn't do the abuse and scars all over him like I was gonna do in Change of the Seasons. Yeah, I kind of took that out. Still some dark. There was still some dark elements in Heroes of Dream, mostly like with the Sword Girl stuff. But other than that, yeah. And also some other parts of some other stories in the series as well. But yeah, I just took that out there. Yeah, because I didn't really go. Like I say, I just did 2 episodes of Change of Season. Didn't really go into why these, what was going on with these bullies and stuff, other than, they're being abused. But yeah, as far as like why and, backstory on that, yeah, that's one thing about when you're writing, if you guys are writing a story, especially a series, like, you got, the book 1, book 2, and all that. Yeah, definitely. If you're gonna, whatever you're gonna put into your story, make sure you definitely have, some builds up, along, in order, like, of your characters, fleshed them out, some reasons of why they may do certain things, as well as the story itself. And pretty much, yeah. So that's definitely an important thing to take into consideration in your story writing, depending on, whatever it is, that you're deciding to write on. Yeah, fiction or not. Well, obviously, if it's nonfiction, pretty much, I think it pretty much be a good idea of what it'll be. But especially in the fictions thing, because you're actually coming up with something there. Nonfiction is pretty much as it is, sort of like like biographies and stuff like that. So yeah. So with that, and Heroes. So yeah, that was that. Yero's debut was in Book 5 of Heroes of Dream, The Mysterious Miracles of Salvation, where he had saved Calvin and his mother from Calvin's evil dad, Ammon. And then, came Banamex and teamed up with Star Striker, Bubblina, Sword Girl, and Target. The 5 of them became the Dream League to face the evil Ammon and the Penubian army. And then at the very end of it, the kids, the 5 Dream League kids, they all came to church that following Sunday and accepted Christ into their life. And of course, Yero shows up at the church. And much like Change of the Season, he was an angel in this series. And he was an angel in the series. He was sent to be the Dream League's guardian angel now. After Book 5, pretty much sort of like, I guess you could say, a Zordon to them, like him to the Dream League, be like Zordon to the Power Rangers. And at the end of Book 5, he had after reuniting Calvin and his mother with Calvin's grandpa, his mother's dad, Professor Kurt. Then there was a resurrection that occurred of Julie's parents, and they came back and everything. And then into the Dream League, Yero showed the 5 kids around their new base of operation, the hero tree and stuff. They embarked on a mission together to stop some robots, which then eventually led to them facing Anthony Westwood, who mutated into an octopus mutant known as Octorus. And they faced him and everything. Then Yero had appeared off and on throughout the different books. He appeared in Book 7 when Riley Jones had became an anthropomorphic squirrel, had mutated into a squirrel and everything, and Yero was able to change him back to human, but he had the super speed power and everything, as well as the senses of a squirrel. So he became Dashtail. And also Yero had briefly appeared in book number 8, sending Bubblina and Riley's sister Zoe to Atlantis for Bubblina's sleepover party. And also in book number 10, I think he briefly appeared there with what was going on with Julie and Naomi. And obviously he was in he was pretty much in the books after that. Yeah, he was also in the anniversary book briefly. I think there were some parts he was in of that. That was supposed to be like a big movie book there, as well as also book 11. Oh yes, that's where you at the end I think there was some other points, but I definitely remember he was at the end of the anniversary book because they had to send Nose back to his dimension from Antonio Vance. They had to send him back to his dimension, and then something malfunctioned, which was supposed to lead into some stuff that at that time Antonio was working on with Nose, some new stuff that he was working on with Nose. So this was kind of a leadway into that at that time. And then of course him and a new friend of his, they sort of started discussing some things which sort of retconned that a little bit. Yeah, so that was that. And I don't know what they are doing with those now, but you know, things happen like that. You know, so Yero obviously did appear in book number 11. He was assigning new rooms in the hero tree to the Dream League members, like to the different kids. Because there were some new Dream League members that had been added to the roster, sort of like going from Justice League to Justice League Unlimited, especially with Bubblina's friends who were now a part of the Dream League, and Nightfox and Sunrisha and Dashtail and all that, and even this new hero called Power Play were all part of it, and they would also have sometime when they, I think they got ready to have their first kind of sleepover in the hero tree in book 12, which did get published, but didn't really. Once it was published, yeah, then Heroes Dream kinda got dropped in place of starting the Star Striker comics. So yeah, with that, yeah, Yero was in those, I think, yeah, in those last two books with them getting assigned different rooms and having their first sleepover in the hero tree, with some help from some of their parents to help kind of chaperone the sleepover a little bit. That came by this, since you know they are kids and everything, so you have to have some responsible adults to sort of, you know, help monitor things, even if your kids do have superpowers. That's probably for more of a reason. So yeah, so yeah, that was that. So Yero, he was in all of that. I think what else I did with, excuse me, with Yero before all that. I think that was pretty much it. I think I want to say it's possible that he may have made an appearance in one of my Ranger series, my Power Ranger fan series, which I do plan to give y'all some more history videos of that as well coming up. Because yeah, Kroger Force was not the only fan series, so yeah, we got some more fan series, some more Power Ranger fan series to talk about there, as well as that last audio reading. I want to say, oh yeah, well, one thing, you know, I think that was pretty much it on Yero, but there was a plan to bring Hiko into the Heroes of Dream series, him as well as also Brownie. Yeah, they were supposed to come into the series, but like I say, after book 12, it sort of just, yeah, I guess sort of like how TV shows get canceled. Yeah, it just sort of dropped. Like I say, book 12 did get published, but it did not continue after that, and the Star Striker series started. There was going to be plans to bring Hiko and Brownie into the Star Striker comic series, possibly Yero as well. But like I say, after Star Striker 6, that sort of dropped and never did get continued. Then there was the first two books of Brown Chronicles, and then the first Yumeko comic books, and of course Photoshop shut down after that. Otherwise, it's possible that the Yumeko comic series would have continued, but like I say, but now that's why we got, you know, the Yumeko novel, which yeah, like I say, Photoshop or not, I do plan, and I strongly want to actually continue that series, because it really got something going for it, especially, you know, from my previous works. Kind of, it's almost like a movie or a TV series adapting several hundreds of comic books there. So yeah, we definitely want to continue with that there. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, what I got for the, excuse me. I hate when that yarn keeps coming up out of nowhere. it really gets annoying. So that's what I got for the history of Yero, the ultimate time magician, and the other side of Hikoji Makuro. So, yeah, definitely you like what you heard in there. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Get some special thanks support, along with getting some of our available books, which also includes Yumeko, first novel, along, like I say, with the other Star Striker, Bubbling, and all that, as well as also supporting us on that Patreon, just like your boy AJ the Supreme. And I'll be sure to check out his channel along with Casey's channel, and definitely shout outs to Miss Phyllis Madea, Keon Smith with the buffalo chicken and the chicken tenders, and King Arthur Williams of turkey legs and wings, and also some ribs. Good barbecue over there, and also other side dishes as well to fill up your meal. So so all that. That's it that's all we got. And also definitely make sure you hit us up in the Discord server. Like I say, you can definitely find us in Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all that. But definitely hit us up in that Discord server. Definitely do that, as well as also the Macari app to see what we're selling there, and also sell some things yourself. And we will see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Peace.